Mark's going to help us around the Strasbourg is for 500, 600. That's why sort of half.
have names. We all have names. We all have names. 1, 2. Here come the green gang. One time.
Coming from a radio station in Saarbrücken called Saarländischer Rundfunk.
Oh, very close to Strasbourg.
Yeah, it's just on the near border of France, right.
It's our favourite city to play, actually, Strasbourg.
Strasbourg, really?
You always get 600 people in Strasbourg. Three times now.
Really? Yeah, well, that's one thing. I'm not very prepared for this interview because, well, I heard sometimes about legendary Pink Dots. I read a little bit, but I've never heard, or mainly, I have never heard a song. Only the stuff you may hear. And I'm waiting for the album, which the label is sending me. Yeah, right. But till now, I have no document, no album from you. But doesn't mind really. So okay, let's check that one out. Test 1, 2. Interview mit Legendary Pink Dots am 11. Januar 1988 im Cookies. Gesprächspartner ist Edward Carspell. Okay, Edward, would you please so kind and introduce yourself, the members of the band, and the name of the band?
Wir sind Edward Carspell von der Legendary Pink Dots. Die andere.
Well, you can say it in English.
I'll say it in English. And I was just going to try.
No, it's okay.
I'm Edward Carspell from the Legendary Pink Dots. We're a 6-piece group. Other members involved Jason on bass guitar, Patrick Hugh on violin.
Ganz gerade mal den Stimme.
Yeah. Who was the Gonzalez fire? Okay, we were interrupted. We stayed on the violins, you already said.
The violins, yeah. Stratnagest Alama on guitars. Graham Whitehead, the first keyboard player. The Silverman, the other keyboard player. Soundcheck. The drum machine. And our estimable soundman Hans Meyer, which should not be forgotten.
I see. So you have recently no drummer in your group. You're programming your drums with a sampler or with a drumming machine.
That's right, either of those methods. We did try to play with a drummer last tour, and we used real drums on the new album any day now. But live, it proved to be rather problematical first time. And it's an experiment that will repeat at some time. You know, but it has to be a very, very special drummer with a band, the legendary Pink Dots. The music is quite complex, it calls for a lot of subtlety, it causes for a lot of space, really. And I'm yet to find a drummer that's able to cope with that need for space.
So probably you can talk to can send a message if you have a look out for a drummer.
Well, if Jackie Liebertzeit is listening, we would love to have you in Pink Dots. But I think you're a busy man.
Okay, Jackie Liebertzeit, yeah, I know him. Yeah, do his pieces. Yeah, we have now 1988. It's a long way for your group till now. When was your start and what you were doing in the beginning? Is that the original setup or line-up you're going to play right now?
Oh no, there's been 11 people through the legendary Pink Dots. This is actually our 8th year. We become 8 years old in August. We began as a 3-piece, and a 3-piece who couldn't actually play any instruments at all. And that was in August 1980. It was like part of the new wave, to put it in inverted commas. We basically were always quite an obsessive band. We always had our own particular dream in mind. We knew exactly what we wanted to do. We knew that sort of basically the tapestry we wanted to create, and it would take years to do so. And in fact, it would probably never be completed. But because of our general obsessive nature, we tended to rehearse and improvise constantly during those early days. So the technique within the group improved very, very fast. And within a few months, from not being able to play any instruments at all, most of the members could play them rather well. And then the new members came in like Stratnagest on the guitars and Patrick on the violin. And the whole thing started growing and growing. And then the stream of albums began, which is we were rather a prolific band.
That is what you said, it's really a stream of albums. Well, I have read that you have now released 8 albums, EKS albums and 12-inch singles.
There are 8 full-length albums, 2 12-inch EPs, 12 full-length cassette releases, 1 7-inch single, well that's 8 minutes long of course. There are 5 solo albums, and there are 2 with a friend of mine from a band called Skinny Puppy, under the name of Tear Garden. And that's all in 4 years actually.
That's really a lot of stuff you made. Is that when you have the idea of a song, when you have the feeling that is a song you can present to the audience, then you say, okay, that thing I have to put on the record? Is that the way you work?
Generally, with 6 people in the band, you've got an awful lot of input. And with 6 people who are working on the music all the time, that makes that input sort of like, yeah, abnormally large when it's 6 creative people. So it's quite likely for anything up to 2 or 3 songs to be written in a week. And I have to say that the vaults of the Pink Dots are also rather full. There's a hell of a lot of unreleased material. But the output must increase because it's part of the general way of the Pink Dots. What we are trying to paint is our own conception of the terminal kaleidoscope, which looks at the world as if it was a drowning man, and like a drowning man has his whole life flash before his eyes. We take it on a planetary scale. All the emotions, all the experiences, all the colours are wrapped up in this huge ball of energy, rapidly accelerating towards cataclysm. We must accelerate to match this process.
You write a soundtrack for it.
I can imagine that. When you said you had also released 12 full-length cassettes, is that a special part that you release a lot of stuff on cassettes, or do you have no possibility to put these things also on albums? Or do you think this is a special scene for the cassettes?
Oh no, this is before we actually made albums. The cassette days are, I wouldn't say they're finished, because it's still a nice idea to put out a release on a cassette and release it ourselves. But, you know, the quality just has to be extremely high now. Yeah, it's any medium, really. Any medium that's available. I mean, there are Pink Dots compact discs now as well. It's crossing over all the borders. You know, we aren't bothered about the packaging, we're just bothered about the content, really, which must be a very high standard indeed. It has the Pink Dots name on it.
When do you have to describe your music? How would you say? How you would say in your own words to a person that had never known you, had never heard a song from you?
Simply the most emotional music he or she ever heard.
Totally full.
Something that isn't so very easy to
because they have a mess. They have one double room and three persons.
I mean, there have been Pink Dots songs I've written at a later date. I've almost been embarrassed by it because it's so personal and so much painted my own soul at that time. But that's the way it should be, because at least it's pure that way.
Is that also the way you are the, can I say, the head of the band, or is that a compact part?
I see the Pink Dots as a collection of individuals.
Is that, but you're the one who write the words? You write the words, and is that the feeling you have, you want to transfer in the lyrics? And is there a message for the audience in there?
There are dozens of messages. You could never put it down to one message. I can even contradict myself wildly, because, yeah, like everybody else, I have the right to change my mind. And all I'm doing is painting my own particular observations at any one time. I mean, the title I've given myself on certain albums is The Prophet, Casts a Spell. That is a little tongue-in-cheek. I think people do tend to take that maybe more seriously than they should. But, yeah.
When I read some information from you, I wrote somewhere, or I read somewhere that the Pink Dots are the keepers of the legendary underground bands. Is that the thing that you have some influences from Syd Barrett or I don't want to complain with other bands, but the influence come from somewhere, and does that mean this legendary means that you pick up some pieces from the legend?
No.
Okay, go ahead, explain please.
I mean, for start, the name Legendary Pink Dots came from a very, very innocent little story. And we used to have an old piano from the early 1900s with pink nail varnish on the keys. And we always talk about these legendary pink dots on the keys. And it's as innocent and as simple as that. Now the comparisons with Syd Barrett have been made maybe about 50,000 times now, and I'm getting rather fed up with it. Nobody ever compares Syd with me, you know? I really like Syd Barrett. I think he's great, absolutely. But he's not an influence. I enjoy what he does. I'd like to think maybe he would enjoy what I do, if he's ever heard it. As a keeper of the underground bands, there was definitely what you could call a London underground scene, a new underground, which encapsulated bands like the Pink Dots, Nursing Wound, Coil, Current 93. There was a lot of bands like that. We have stayed, deliberately opted to stay in that underground to keep total artistic freedom, to keep total independence. We are a damn hard band for any label to actually handle, but they are actually happy to handle us ultimately. Because that's part of the underground tradition. And that is really doing it yourself, passing things around by word of mouth, and watching it grow. Keeping contact with people that write to, you know, sort of doing personally, writing back. You know, this is how it should be. It's not about pedestals and heroes. It's about people, because every band is made up of people ultimately. And this is something I believe in very, very much. And happily the other bands from that new underground see things exactly the same way. They all keep contact with the people they're making the music for, as well as themselves.
Did it ever happen that a major company comes to you and says, okay, that's the right thing, we want to put it on a major?
One rather large Dutch label approached me once. That was for solo albums, and offering an awful lot of money. I said no.
Great. So we just talked about the beginning, the startup, and also the startup with tactical equipment. I recognize that you working with drum computers, working with samplers, also working with the voice and vocoders, and you use a lot of technical stuff. Is that necessary, or is that the technician way to have a bigger nuance to make?
It increases possibilities. There are so many different colours you can add with that kind of equipment. I mean, we're not creating rock music, you know, sort of. If I was in a band with like a couple of guitars and a bass, I would get bored really quickly because the possibilities sort of fly out of the window rather quickly. We're trying to make oil paintings really. That's something that's so detailed and can sort of like create such a mood. And we need those colours, that's why we need the samplers. And all the possibilities, the vocoders, the harmonies, everything. And you know, this is equipment that hasn't dropped out of the trees. You know, sort of most of the band come from poor families in London who lived in the East End. So we got it the hard way. And Yeah, we're certainly not trying to become one of these classical rock bands. I don't think we sound anything like them anyway, so I personally hated those bands. You know, the Pink Dots is the Pink Dots. There's little relationship to what's been, what is, and what will be.
You're talking now about the last album you released, Any Day Now.
Yeah.
What is important to know about it? Is that new development in it, and kind of music? I know that is, you already told, is always a development in that case, but is that special?
It's very much, in some ways, a return to beauty. Just pure beauty. That's very, very sad. There's a track called Waiting for the Cloud on it, which is post-Chernobyl, basically. There's a track called The Neon Mariners, which is about this April the Ferry disaster, because that struck a chord in all of us. We used that very wonderful laugh. We wrote the song the day after it happened because we were all shocked as hell by it. It was the only way to exercise those feelings. And then you could say, I admit most of the albums are sad in this way, because there is a lot of sadness in the world, isn't there?
You already told, or I heard about one guy told me, man, you have to see the legendary Pink Dots live on stage. That's much better than on the album, on the record.
See that?
No, but I mean, live is live and on record is on record. I believe in both. And I can't possibly agree with that, because so much goes into each thing we release. So many emotions, everything is poured into it. Live is just a lot louder, and you can see it. I think it's very special live, yeah. But I think the Pink Dots is a special band.
Great. Coming now to the last question, you're on tour right now, starting here, one date in Germany, half a band leaving over to Scandinavia or where?
Going back into Holland.
To Holland, yeah.
One date in Brussels, then back into Germany, to Scandinavia, then back into Germany again, France and then Germany again. We're playing a lot in Germany.
That was good.
That's good.
Thank you.
Thank you
I
very much.
appreciate for that interview.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was good. It was really good. But I recognize that you're freezing a little bit, right?
Yeah, it's shivering and cold.
It's not so warm here.
I have the same.
Probably
Warming up that
Maybe we ask another tea.